Hey, what is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, I've got a fat stack of Prodigy discs here. We've got some putters, mid-ranges, a couple fairway drivers, and a few distance drivers. I've got some new, some old, some very early Prodigy, all the way back dating to 2013 run M4. Then we've got some like middle ground era, 2017 to 2020. I've got a Prodigy F5 here from 2018. I've got this cool, I believe this is an F3 from Gannon Burr's collection. And then I've also got it all the way up to distance drivers. For the distance drivers, we've got an Air D4, and we have the Kale LaVisca Falcor prototype. Nice little F5 hyzer flip. Anyway, like the video, leave a comment. Let's get into it. One thing that I find really interesting about Prodigy discs in particular is they are extremely popular in Europe, and they haven't quite become quite as popular in the US. And I definitely think about that once in a while, and I wonder where the disconnect is between what the Europeans like and what the Americans like. The Americans tend to stick to the Innovas, the Discrafts, and some of the other popular brands, as to where the Europeans all really seem to flock to Latitude 64 and Prodigy. We'll be doing our approach shots with the A2, and we'll be throwing our putts with this PX3. This PX3 is 150 grams, so it is a little lighter than I'm used to putting with. So bear with me. It feels lightweight, but also it's got this huge bead on it. It feels like it's gonna be really stable even though it's light. Oh yeah, she's a beefcake. We'll see if we can knock a few putts down. That would be an accomplishment, to knock down some putts with a 150 gram putter. Hole 2, we got a 267 foot par 3. We've got an old F3 here that we used to be in Gannon Burr's collection, and now I'm the proud owner of it. We got to use the disc golf bag as a paperweight to make sure the tripod doesn't fall over. Come on, swing. All right, the park is extremely active today. We've got a 700 foot par 4. We're gonna give the Proto Falcor and the D4 a go. They're both extremely wide. What are the flight numbers on this baby? Doesn't say. They both seem like they're gonna be kind of flippy with a finish at the end. We'll go Air D4. Oh, that thing's a bomber. There's one way to lose your disc on this hole, and it's to go way too far right, which I may have just done. Now we got the Falcor here. Shout out Kale LaVisca. It's got a nice little bit of dome, not quite a pop top. Again, feels very wide. I'm gonna trust this one a little bit more flat. Okay, so the Falcor is pretty stable. I really like the way that Air D4 flew. That thing seemed like a money driver. Prodigy's always been one of those brands where they have at least one disc in their lineup that you'll really love. For me, I've been bagging that F5 on and off since I got it back in 2018. Then I've also bagged the M4 on and off for a very long time. Also, the A2 has come in and out of my bag for a very long time. And I always try to take that F5 out of my bag, but I can never quite find that flippy, torque-resistant fairway driver to replace it. And I think Prodigy, that's probably something that you guys have in common with me. There's got to be at least one Prodigy disc out there that you guys like. So what I'd like you to do is comment your favorite Prodigy disc down below. I'm curious what you guys are throwing, and if there's anything else that I should test out in a video. Hole 6 is about 320 feet. I'm gonna go with a steep hyzer on this D4 and see if I can get it to just pop up to straight and then finish to the left. And I'm gonna throw the A5 from the short tee as well. I'm excited to throw the A5 a bit more for sure. I actually really like that Air D4. It's actually a fire distance driver, low key. It's really easy to shape. The A5 is one of Prodigy's newer molds that's also seeing some really solid traction. Comes in at a 3.4 minus 1.1. Let's see how she flies here. Last throw was a bit more stable than I expected. Whew. That's a beef dog for a minus 1.1. I'd really like to try that in like a baseline plastic that may not be quite as overstable. We're not gonna get a ton of great birdie looks today, I don't think. These are just very new discs to me, and Hornets Nest is a tough course, so hopefully we can knock this one down. Putting with a 150 gram putter is so weird. throwing this driver's about 150 grams, and it feels totally normal on backhand. But putting with this just feels so whippy and snappy coming out of your hand. That is a bizarre feeling putting a disc that's, 25 grams lighter than what you're used to. Hole 7 is another absolutely stellar par 4 here at Hornets Nest. We'll go with the D4. Hyzer flip. Loving this D4 so far. We got a little bit of a head right to left here. Let's see how it can hold up. Oh, that thing wants to go for days. That's a good driver. Then we got Falcor, a little more aggressive flex line. Ooh. Caught the trees. I think most of you Prodigy fans out there have thrown an A2 before. Very awesome, overstable approach disc. Just absolutely mega beefy upshot disc, which I've always been a fan of. This kind of covers up most of your mistakes if you chop over on it a little too much. You just really need to commit to your line, and you'll really fall in love with the A2. Hornets Nest has 2 bonus holes, hole A and hole B. Most people just keep going that way and just go right to hole 8, I believe. But we're gonna play the bonus holes today. Most people that play here just completely skip these holes. We're gonna go M4 and then we'll go M2. I think this is a really great 1-2 punch. The M4 is for all your hyzer flip, turnover needs. And then the M2 is when you just don't want something to flip quite as much. You have something that's a little more point and shoot per se. So that's gonna be more of like that sort of hyzer flip to dead straight line. And I really love the M4 for that shot. I think that run is it's super flat and a little more stable than normal. I think new M4s are a little more flippy than that. Then we've got the M2 here. We can force the issue a little bit on some anhyzer. But a very direct and forward pushing line. And although I put it on a little anhyzer, it didn't want to find extra anhyzer, just kind of stayed on the line I put it on and pretty much carried us all the way to the basket. Hole B, the second secret hole at Hornets Nest, 161 feet. Let's see how the A2 compares to the A5. We'll throw 2 forehands here. We'll go A5, then we'll go A2. I mean, that thing is a beef dog. It's definitely a bit beefier than the numbers would have advertised. So if you're someone that likes to throw your putters hard, you're really gonna like the A5. Or if you want something that you feel like you can really trust, then the A5 is gonna be good for that as well. Try and throw the ace line with the A2. Oh, that was a good try. This A5 in the 400 plastic, I would definitely say has a 0 turn and a 1 fade. It definitely doesn't really have, at least very easy turn for me. Maybe I'm not throwing it hard enough, but I do think it would fly a lot closer to the flight numbers in this 300 plastic. So if I could get an A5 in the 300 plastic, I think I would get a lot more controlled and more straight flight out of it, and have something that flies a bit more like these flight numbers. But I will say, I do love this just super bright, like violet color, and then that nice shimmery stamp. They did a really nice job. These discs look really good. We've got no flashing on this guy. It's not chalky at all. Like they really stepped their game up with these 400 A5s. It's just a little bit more stable than I expected. Perfect drive for this hole. Absolutely love that 5. That's always been my favorite Prodigy fairway driver. All right, we got some homies from Michigan. What's up?
What up?
They're gonna show us how to throw some Prodigy discs. We got the A5 here. Don't mess up. I told you it was beefy. I told him to trust the beef. He didn't trust the beef. All right, next up, what do we got? We got an M2 here. Extra chalky.
I was gonna say older run.
Very old. Oh.
And then shattered.
All right, we're 2 for 2 on tree hits. 2013 M4 collector's item.
Ooh. Try not to hit anything unless it's basket.
I think that's Kale LaVisca's favorite run of M4. No pressure.
No pressure, no messing up the
Oh, it's money.
Such
Ace it! Oh!
Ace the tree. Does that
Wow,
count?
good shot.
Nice.
Nice. All right, time to make a fool of myself after I roasted all you guys. No! Too flippy. I hit the tree too. Because I wanted it.
On Saturdays.
I know, that's tough. All right, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I think Prodigy is starting to do some really cool things. As far as the new discs that are coming out, this Air D4 is absolutely a sick flyer and something I'm really excited to continue to experiment with. This A5, I do really like the mold. I think it's extremely comfortable in the hand. It was a little more stable than I expected. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad disc. I just need to get some more reps in with it to truly figure it out. I need to trust it with a little more power, probably a power grip, and potentially some anhyzer lines. And I can potentially see this flying very similar to the Discmania P3X I tested out the other day. And then my old Prodigy discs that I've had for years, M2 and the F5, probably Prodigy's two most underrated discs, and I would highly recommend giving them a try. The F5 is a bit more flippy than like a T-Bird or an Eagle. You can really just, especially even if you have a slower arm, trust it on those hyzer flips to dead straight, turnover lines. I've been bagging the Latitude 64 Brave, and that's probably my favorite fairway driver right now. But I need this F5 right next to it to complement it. It's just a little bit more understable for when I need to carry straighter for longer, carry turnover lines, or when I'm throwing in a tailwind. I really love the F5. And as far as the rest of the discs here, we didn't really get any bad discs today. This Falcor, it's probably a bit too overstable for my arm speed, but for flex forehands, skip shots, or if you have a really fast arm, these prototype Falcors are surprisingly overstable, a lot more stable than I expected. And it's definitely a professional level driver for someone with a professional level arm. And if you have a professional level arm, you won't be disappointed. Any Prodigy discs you can go check out over on Power Grip USA. Use my discount code Iceberg10. You'll save 10% on anything over at the website. Use my discount code ICE20 to get your nice minty green V4 over at bergsdiscsports.com. I got this nice Team Sport patch to go along on it now. This thing is starting to look absolutely incredible. Maybe Power Grip needs to send me another patch for here. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys wants to send me a patch. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.